Welcome to Growth Rocks Podcast, the podcast powered by Gen AI. I'm your host, Mike, and today we are diving deep into a topic that might sound a bit technical at first glance, but is actually one of the absolute best-kept secrets in the Growth Marketer's Playbook. We are talking about FAQ schema. And joining me to unpack this digital goldmine is the incredible Sarah. Sarah, how are you doing today?
Hey, Mike. I am doing fantastic, and I am absolutely thrilled to be talking about FAQ schema today. You know, so many people think SEO is just about stuffing keywords or getting backlinks, but technical SEO, especially structured data, is where the real magic happens. It's like giving Google a VIP backstage pass to your content.
Exactly. It's about speaking Google's native language. And as Theo always says, growth hacking isn't about waiting for a miracle. It's about stacking these high-impact technical wins that compound over time. So, Sarah, for those who might be hearing this term for the first time, let's start with the basics. What on earth is FAQ schema?
Let's break it down. Imagine you have a page on your website that lists frequently asked questions. To a human reader, it's obvious. There's a bold question, and right below it, the answer. But to a search engine crawler, it's just a bunch of text, headers, and paragraphs. FAQ schema is a specific type of structured data markup, usually written in a code format called JSON-LD, that you add to your page. It explicitly tells search engines, hey, this specific block of text is a question, and this other block is the exact answer to it.
Yes, and when Google understands that structure, something beautiful happens on the search engine results pages, or SERPs. Instead of just showing your standard title and meta description, Google can display those questions and answers directly beneath your search result in a drop-down format. These are called rich results or rich snippets.
Oh, they are beautiful, Mike. They literally double or even triple the amount of physical space your website takes up on the screen. Think about it. If you're searching on a mobile device, a single search result with an FAQ-rich snippet can take up the entire viewport. You are essentially pushing your competitors right off the screen.
Yes, and that visual dominance has a massive impact on click-through rates or CTR. When you take up more real estate and provide immediate value right there on the search page, users are naturally drawn to click on your link. It builds immediate trust. It's like having a neon sign pointing to your website while everyone else has a paper flyer.
It really is. And you know what's crazy? Even though it's incredibly powerful, so many businesses still ignore it because they think it's too hard to implement. But it's actually incredibly straightforward. Mike, let's talk about the two main ways to write this schema: JSON-LD and microdata. Which one is the reigning champion?
Hands down, JSON-LD is the undisputed king. Google itself explicitly recommends JSON-LD. Why? Because it's clean. JSON-LD is a block of JavaScript code that you can just drop into the header body of your HTML. It lives independently of your user-facing content. Microdata, on the other hand, requires you to wrap individual HTML tags around your actual text. It's messy, it's easy to break during a site redesign, and honestly, it's just outdated.
Oh, absolutely. Microdata is a nightmare to maintain. With JSON-LD, you can use simple generators, or even write a quick prompt for a Gen AI tool to output the exact code block you need, paste it in, and boom, you're done. But here's the million-dollar question, Mike. Does the content in your JSON-LD code have to match the actual text visible on the page?
Yes, absolutely, 100% yes. This is one of Google's strictest guidelines. If you put questions and answers in your schema code that do not actually appear on the visible page for a human user to read, Google will view that as spam. And trust me, you do not want to get hit with a structured data manual penalty. It can tank your rankings overnight.
Yes. And that brings up a really important point about user experience. The goal of FAQ schema isn't to trick the search engine. It's to align the search engine's understanding with the user's intent. If a user clicks your rich snippet expecting to find a specific answer on your page, and then they land on your site and that information is nowhere to be found, they are going to bounce immediately. That high bounce rate sends a terrible signal to Google.
Exactly. It's all about consistency. Now, let's look at a real-world application. Imagine you run an e-commerce store selling premium organic coffee beans. You have a product page for your signature dark roast. Sarah, how would you leverage FAQ schema on that page to drive sales?
Oh, I love this example. If I'm selling organic coffee, I'd think about the exact friction points my customers have right before they hit that Add to Cart button. I'd add an FAQ section to the product page with questions like, are these coffee beans fair trade certified? What is the roast profile of this blend? And how long does shipping take? Then I'd mark those up with FAQ schema.
Yes, and when someone searches for organic dark roast coffee fair trade, your search result pops up with those exact questions. The user sees, yes, our beans are 100% fair trade certified, right there on the Google results page. You've answered their objection before they've even visited your site. By the time they click through, they are already halfway down the purchase funnel.
It's brilliant. It completely short circuits the traditional buyer journey. And it's not just for e-commerce. Think about SaaS companies. Theo often talks about how SaaS landing pages need to address pricing and integration objections immediately. If you put FAQs like, does this software integrate with HubSpot? Or, is there a free trial? Right into your schema, you are filtering for high-intent leads before they even click.
That is a massive point. You are essentially qualifying your traffic on the SERP itself. Now, we have to address the elephant in the room. Some people might say, but Mike, Sarah, if we answer their questions directly on Google, won't they just get the answer and leave without clicking our website? Isn't that zero-click search phenomenon a threat?
Ah, the dreaded zero-click search. It's a valid concern, but here's the reality. If a user just wants a quick transactional answer, like, what is the capital of France? They were never going to spend time browsing your site anyway. But for complex, high-value queries, the FAQ snippet acts as a teaser. It proves you have the expertise. They click through because they want the depth that only your full page can provide.
Yes, and let's look at this through the lens of Gen AI and LLMs, which is incredibly relevant for us here at the Growth Rocks podcast. We know that search is changing. With Google's AI Overviews, Perplexity, and ChatGPT search, the way information is retrieved is shifting from keyword matching to semantic understanding.
Oh, this is where it gets incredibly exciting. These LLMs and AI search engines don't just scrape the web randomly. They look for structured data to verify facts. If your website has clean, well-structured FAQ schema, you are making it incredibly easy for an AI engine to pull your content as the source for its AI-generated answer.
Whispers. This is the ultimate secret weapon for AI optimization. Seriously, if you want your brand to be cited by ChatGPT or Google's Gemini, when a user asks a question, structured data is your golden ticket. It's no longer just about ranking blue links on a page. It's about becoming the foundational data source for the AI answers of the future.
That is mind-blowing, Mike, and it is so true. We are moving from search engine optimization to generative engine optimization, or GEO. An FAQ schema is a core pillar of GEO. But let's get practical for our listeners. If someone wants to implement this today, what are the exact steps they need to take?
Step 1. Identify your high-performing pages that already have some search visibility. There's no point in putting schema on a page that ranks on page 10. Look for pages on page 1 or 2 that could use a CTR boost. Step 2. Write genuine, high-quality questions and answers that naturally fit the content of that page. Step 3. Generate the JSON LD code. You can use free online schema generators or simply ask a Gen AI tool to write it for you.
Yes. And step 4 is validation. Do not just paste code onto your site and hope for the best. You must use Google's official rich results test tool. You just paste your URL or the raw code, and it will tell you instantly if your schema is valid or if there are any errors.
And once it's validated, step 5 is to go to Google Search Console and request a recrawl of that page, so Google indexes the new structured data as quickly as possible. Usually, you'll start seeing The rich results appear in search within a few days, sometimes even hours.
It's that fast. But we should also mention some of the common pitfalls to avoid. For example, you cannot use FAQ schema for form pages where users can submit their own answers. Google has a completely different schema for that called Q&A schema. FAQ schema is strictly for content where the site editor writes both the question and the answer.
Yes, and another major pitfall is over-optimization. Don't try to stuff keywords into every single question and answer. Write for humans first. If your FAQs sound like they were written by a robot from 2005, users will ignore them, and Google's quality algorithms might flag them. Keep it natural, conversational, and genuinely helpful.
Absolutely. And remember, Google has updated its guidelines recently, reserving FAQ-rich snippets primarily for highly authoritative websites, especially in sensitive niches like finance and health. But even if the visual snippet doesn't show up on every single search query, the underlying structured data is still being read and understood by Google's semantic search algorithms and AI models. The SEO value is still 100% there.
That is a crucial distinction, Sarah. The visual snippet is just the icing on the cake. The real cake is the semantic clarity you're giving to search engines. It's about building topical authority.
Yes, and it's about future-proofing your brand. As voice search continues to grow through smart speakers and mobile assistants, those devices rely heavily on structured data to read out answers. When someone asks their Google Assistant a question, the assistant often pulls the answer directly from FAQ schema markup.
It's all connected. From voice search to AI overviews, structured data is the thread that ties it all together. Well, Sarah, this has been an incredibly deep and action-packed episode. I think our listeners have some very clear, actionable homework to do today.
They definitely do. Go check your top landing pages, write some killer FAQs, generate that JSON LD, and start dominating those search results.
Love it. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise today, Sarah. And to our amazing listeners, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Growth Rocks podcast, the podcast powered by Gen AI. If you want to take your growth marketing and technical SEO to the next level, head over to growthrocks.com for more cutting-edge insights. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with your fellow growth hackers.